What's going on with my phone here? It's early. It is 21st. I think today is would have been my grandma's birthday. August 21st. I've been up early and was cleaning up till almost midnight last night. I was in one of my cleaning frenzies. Yesterday, my anxiety was so high, that heightened awareness kind of thing. Nothing earth shattering or, doom and gloom. But I put together a distribution and a business plan because while I'm in the process trying to figure out where I'm going next, and the process of looking for work is so different than the process most of us are familiar with from when, we were kids. It used to be you wanted to go work somewhere. One, you knew someone and, someone put in a good word for you. Or two, you just went in, you filled out an application, you talked to the manager, and so on. Well, now this process of find where you want to work, see if they have any openings, contemplate how many other people are applying for the same position you're applying for, and go online, fill out the application, and then you wait. And then you wait, and then you wait. It has now been 4 days since the original process. And is it overkill if you fill out the application or you send, your resume through a recruiting app? Me, when I want something, I kind of go after it. So then I went directly to the website of the company because I don't know if AI is filtering things out. So then I send my resume and I'm going to print it out later. And the next time I go live, I will read the highlights of it because my resume is so impressive. It's ridiculous. Like I said, I'm almost overqualified for the things that I am wanting to do. But I'm not trying to climb any corporate ladders at this moment in time. I'm just trying to make some ends meet so I can get to this next phase in life. But yesterday, and I'm going to see if I can turn the camera around, and if I lose you, I will start all over again, but I don't know if I can flip back and forth. But I put together, I'm looking at it now. I put together yesterday a distribution kind of creating thing because I have a whole line of merchandise I need to get back out into the public's eyes. So hold on. Let's see if we can do this. Now remember, my long-term goal was I wanted to have my own property and teach on my property, sell my merchandise, and do all the modern time things of making a living doing content creating. So I'm going to try to switch this around. And if there's something in this plan that I put together and you need to use it, by all means, steal away. And I hate the words gatekeeping, but I don't want to keep anything to myself. If there's a way that I can help you make money, and while I'm in the process of trying to figure out how in the hell is this going to work, so let's see if I can do this. Hold on. Because let me backtrack just a minute before I flip you. When you are an entrepreneur and you have a business, and especially if your business is based in something you're putting together physical materials that you are putting together, there needs to be a process of how you can do it so you do not become overwhelmed. That's where I'm at right now. I am so overwhelmed. I have so many things in my mind. I'm creating that procrastination action, which is actually a real psychological thing. So hold on. Let me see if I can turn you around. Oh, look at that. Okay, so This is my art and communication merchandise, art and communication classes in my merchandise. So Monday, you know, you have to look and stop and think about what your merchandise, what your service is, and how you can apply it daily so you do not become overwhelmed with everything. And that is where I'm at now. So, you review orders, deadlines, review money, expenses, choose what your priority is for the week. That's Monday. Tuesday, you dive deep into what it is, your art, your design, finish priority work, develop new ideas, project uninterrupted creative time. Wednesday, you photograph all your materials, prepare files, mock-ups, check inventory, supplies, work on product listings, and then packaging. Okay, this is the part where I get a little overwhelmed with, because photographing materials, oh my God, it's so time consuming. And then Thursday, of course, is your social media day. Girls, leave her alone. Oh my God, they're picking on Shug so bad this morning. Your blog, your newsletter, your customer follow-ups, your outreach, your partnerships, your PR. And then on Friday, your orders, your shipping, customer care, your bookkeeping, which I don't mind the bookkeeping part. I don't mind any of the business aspect of doing it, and then making sure you have backup. But there's a process to it. And then, of course, depending on when you're going to actually be live in front of an audience, and then your artwork, finished work, your merchandise review, it goes on and on and on and on. So yesterday I sat and I wrote all this out. Believe it or not, I'm that smart, because there has to be a process to all of this. Okay, I'm going to walk you through the house, and I've got coffee in here, and I'm praying the dogs don't knock anything over. It is still hot, but look, my kitchen is so clean. It's so clean. And then last night, this is this little studio where I work. It was so hot in here last night, it was ridiculous. So here we are with this. Oh, and I should have got the other tripod. I have to go back and get it. Anyway, okay, I got to go get the tripod. And I moved my painting over here. I'll get to it. And then there's a story behind what's going on with my classes. All right, I got to get the other tripod. I'm praying I don't fall over anything. Good girls. Look at them pretty girls. Look at them pitties. Aren't they pitty? Oh, Francis. And then Nell's over there laying down. Hold on. I'm going to get this tripod. I say to the kid last night, I'm like, what are we doing tomorrow? Because I know he's off on Fridays. He's like, well, I'm going to cut the grass. I'm like, thank God. It's only, about knee high. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. I'll try to get you situated. Let me see if I can flip you around now. We're going to do it like this, I think. Is that how I want to do it? Don't mind me. I'm trying to figure it out. This tripod, how I can... Yeah, we're going to flip it around. Okay, hold on. Crazy. Okay. Production. Let's see if I can get you at an angle. Now, this isn't going to look like anything to anybody, because you won't understand what the process of it all is. But, when you talk about trying to assemble something, and I'm going over all the pieces, and this won't make sense to you till I show you the finished product. But I'm looking at everything that I started a year ago, and then it went into a box, because life just got absolutely ridiculous, and then reality and logic sets in. So I've got pieces here cut out, And then the final product, this is their little mug rugs, coasters. There's like a variety of them, and I sell them for like four of them for $15. Like there's a whole process to it. And I have all this material. And I love to do like the quilting strips. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna switch you around here. Try not to lose you. And the dogs want to go back outside. This is a whole process with the dogs. Okay, that's not gonna work. Hold on. Move. That'll work. All right, let me let them out real quick. You get to see this whole experience. Come on, let's go. Half the time they're barreling through the door. Welcome to the jungle. Okay, so back to what I was saying, production. So last night, as I'm going through everything, I'm looking to see what actual product I already have in process that I need to continue to put together so I can market all of the stuff and get some things sold. I need that income right now, and it's devastating how one entity, and I got to let that go, how one entity was so bad that one person affected the reality for many. And I think I did just find out that after I left, 5 more left. So it wasn't just me. Although I do agree, I am the problem in a lot of different situations, not in that particular one, but I digress. So pricing, that's the other thing. Okay, this is going to be a heat pad. Very quilted, very eclectic. I love that word. This is going to be the backing on it. All right. Short on fabric, I am not. I am a fabric hoarder. I have a whole dresser. Where's it at? Whole dresser full of fabric. I have boxes, and you won't be able to see them because my paints are all there. I have boxes upon boxes with boxes under my bed of fabric. I have all of these totes. And those are like so fun to create. So fun to create. And then the piecemealing of what do you have that you can work with, that you can put a small business plan together and then figure out, because you can't read a customer's mind. You can't read the public's whatever they're thinking. And right now they're all off the wall. If I hear one more person say, "What is wrong with people?" I'm just gonna turn into a comical, storyteller. I'll tell you what's wrong with people. But anyway, so I think this morning before the kid and I get outside and cut grass, because we got to cut limbs down. Poor kid next door, my tree limbs, which I didn't even realize are on his house. And I had Amron out here yesterday, and Amron's like, "Well, the lines aren't down, so there's nothing we can do. You're going to have to figure it out." And I'm like, "Well, he shouldn't have to pay for my trees." So the kid and I are going to be out there today. But in the meantime, I'm going to sit here this morning, and I'm going over all of this stuff that I have. It's almost a hobby to buy stuff, and then actually doing all of it is a whole other hobby. But here's the part where I'm the problem. Here's the part where I'm the problem. Look, brand new fabric. I bought this 2 years ago. I am so hell bent on getting to this next place in life I don't want to be detoured by somebody else telling me it is not realistic, or I can't do it, or I'm butting my head up against a wall. No, I'm not butting my head up against a wall, because I see A to B to C to D. I see the whole plan. So why should I have to not go along with my plan because somebody else can't get themselves out of their rigid routine and structure for a paycheck? The whole bottom line is, when you're an entrepreneur, you're just not working, 9 to 5. You're working 16 hours a day trying to make life work, but it comes with such passion and purpose. And when you finally get to that end result and you see the fruits of your labor, it all becomes worth it. It all becomes worth it. And like I said, I'm so hell bent on getting to my own piece of property, my own home, a place where I can teach, a place where I can sell my merchandise. So that's where I'm at this morning. That's where I am at. I'm sitting here with all of these things, all of these projects that I started. You have to be diligent. You can't just give up because life presents itself to you in so many different various forms. That's why there's dreamers. That's why there's people who are innovative. What is it? The ingenuity, the mother of necessity. So this is where I'm at right now. This is where I'm at. So my story with my class. Where's my coffee? I need my coffee. Hold on. And I gotta let them back in. So the thing with my class, I'm scheduled to teach a painting class, a vision board class, and how to write a book at our community college. I'm scheduled for like the end of January up until March. 2 hours, 3 hour classes, and it all depends on who takes the class. They pay $25 an hour. Okay. When I'm doing all this on my own, I'm getting a lot more money. But I'm thinking it's going to give me exposure, right? And I'm in a real classroom setting on a college campus. Here's what the problem is. When I was at the restaurant, I could, flex my schedule. No big deal. Not having employment now, doing this whole entrepreneur thing till life presents itself in some other form. How do I continue with that schedule teaching, knowing 2 to 3 hours a day for 4 to 6 weeks, I'm not going to be available to whomever I may be working for? And how fair is it when you know you have something scheduled way down the line and you're starting new employment, and you say, hey, by the way, between this date and this date, I need to have my mornings off. So when the college was, emailing me the other day doing finalized details, and mind you, this is something I have wanted to do for the last 10 years. And every time I try to do it, something happens or there's no follow through. And this time it actually has, presented itself. And now I'm in a predicament or I don't know how to proceed. So I say to the gal, well, do I just want to postpone? And the places that I am like applying for will have some kind of a flex schedule. But because we are so close to the end of the year, think about it. We're almost at September. Do you know how fast September to December goes by? Kids are going back to school this week. And then we have, thinking holidays, September, fall, Halloween, Thanksgiving. And then we know that time between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So in my aspect, trying to put all this merchandise together and trying to market, trying to distribute, trying to figure out where I'm going, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, I'm a little overwhelmed right now with my thoughts. And usually I function really well under situations like that because I like that juggle. It keeps my mind going. But right now I'm in that I'm procrastinating. It's too much. And I'm so hell bent on trying to get to this other place in life. So, what about you? What's holding you back? What's your biggest fear when it comes to making a better life for yourself? Think about that. I gotta let the dogs in. This is a crazier thing because they'll all come running in. Hold on. Come on, girls. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Go. Go. You too. Let's go. They're better about coming in than they are going out because they're tired. They're running around. They need to eat. But this is where I am this morning. This is where I am. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm trying to figure out. I've got my whole business plan all wrote out. I'll be in here this morning doing this till the kid wakes up, and then we'll be out in front cutting grass and cutting them damn trees down. It's a lot. It's a lot. Do you know how long I've held on to this vision and dream? And something else too. I was having a conversation with somebody online because of where I live, the obstacles that have come against me. You hear me talk about my sister's small town. You hear me talk about when I traveled and I went to all these touristy places. I don't live in a touristy area. All of my merchandise, all of my classes, these are things that if I was in another environment that was more aligned and conducive to the business that I actually have, I'd be sitting on a real gold mine. I'd be sitting on a real gold mine. When we were going to Siverville and Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, that's like the capital of what I call carnival land, like when you go to Branson, neon lights and tourists and crafts and handmade things. There was, when we went to North Carolina, Pleasure Island was the actual area. It's right on the other side of Wilmington. They had darling little shops. Go lay down, Lowly. Darling little shops. I even think about, as much as I want to be in the country and I want a place of my own, would I be happy? Which probably not, but would I be happy if I got a building that had a shop below and then just an apartment upstairs? Not really. Although in Labadee, if you're familiar with Labadee, on their main street, it is so rural and so country that if you had a building with a shop below and your apartment above, you still have land all the way around. I could maybe do that. But what's holding you back? What's holding you back? What is your plan? What is your vision? What is your body no longer saying, okay, physically, I can't do this job, so what am I going to fall back on? What are you going to fall back on? What are you capable of doing? And are you stubborn enough that you're not going to give up on your dream? You're not going to give up on the vision, because whatever it is you have, product or service, personality, somebody wants what you have. Somebody needs that vivaciousness of a drive, because too many people, they just give up. They give up to defeat. They give up to, it's too overwhelming. And I'm not going to give up. I won't give up. I've worked mentally too hard to get to this place. So I'll work on this. I do have enough that I could put a whole showroom together. I do. I have enough merchandise that I could fill a shop. And while I have sent out now in the last 4 days, 5 different, filled out 5 different applications, on top of the fact that my resume, you fill out the application, you upload your resume, and then you send it off into blah, blah land. And then those same places I have emailed the direct company. The grass doesn't grow under my feet, and I always come up on the other side, but it's the process in between. It's the process in between, and that's where I am. I'm in between, understanding that I am the problem. So for today, for tomorrow, be happy, be blessed, be thankful for everything. Remember, fate turns on a dime, and that's what I'm banking on. Fate is going to turn on a dime. I do come out on the other side. I do come up the winner. And today I'm just going to diligently figure this all out for this last final part before I actually get to the place that I'm needing to be. But I'm Kitryn Marie, an artist, writer, speaker, life and a business coach, teach a variety of art and communication classes, reside here in St. Louis, Missouri, published author When He Had Her, available on Amazon. You enjoy your day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Put your thoughts together. Try not to be overwhelmed. And if you need to write it all out and put it into a plan, if you need some help, just let me know. Y'all take care. I'll see you real soon. Bye.